Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today you see a lot of gray. That's right, we're going to show you how to gray coverage with just a partial using baby lights and some toning techniques. This is my good friend Lisa. She's up there in age, but she still is very young and modern, and she wants something that looks really good, but she still wants to be very, very classy and elegant at the same time. So you can see this has grown out beautifully. We have not touched her hair up in about 4.5, 5 months. And that's what our goal is, low maintenance, but beautiful growing out while blending with the gray at the same time. So I'm grabbing my Holy Grail lightener, Schwarzkopf Lamy. We're gonna be using 20 volume, which is my ride or die, and a 16th ounce of Olaplex. As you can see, I'm not using the dedicated Blonde Me developer. I'm using the Royale, which goes with their permanent line, but I was told by the supply store it's okay to use this. They're very similar. So if you've been a supporter of mine for a very long time, since the very beginning, you know that Schwarzkopf Lamy was what I used for the better half of the beginning of my career. Loved it, the strongest bleach on the market, very gentle, has its own bonding agent built in, gets up to 9 levels of lift. I never had any real damage on the hair with it. But after a year or so of using it in the beginning of my career, all of a sudden within a week, I had multiple people that had bleach literally spewing out of the foils all over the back of their head. It was a nightmare. Looked it up and I seen a lot of people were suffering with the same problem. So I stopped using Schwarzkopf Lamy. Over the last year and a half, I did try once in a while to pick up a tub of it to see if it was still having bleeding issues and swelling like out of control. And it was, sometimes it was good, sometimes it wasn't. It was very inconsistent. I don't like to work with inconsistency. So I went and used Goldwell Oxycure, which I ended up falling in love with and loving it, and used it for another year and a half. I tried Joico Blonde Life a couple months ago. I love Finola lighteners as well, the No Yellow Powder Lightener, the Keratin 24K Keratin Lightening Powder. I love a whole bunch of different things for different stuff. It's good to have a bunch in your arsenal so you have something for every single hair type and what you're needing. Now I'm back to Schwarzkopf. I found a little trick. I mentioned it a few videos back. You have to stir it for no less than 3 minutes. No matter what developer you're using, even the regular dedicated developer that a lot of people have a lot of swelling issues with, mix it and stir it with a whisk for 3 minutes. You'll thank me later.
I'm acting surprised, but I know I'm not over you. Keep missing our fights, even though there's overdue. We had a fire, now we're watching it burn low. Isn't it time we go our separate ways? Not enough time, not enough time. I'm falling behind, I hate to separate my body and mind, my body and mind.
All right, so we're doing a partial, and when I do a partial, I still pack foils in if they want to be tightly packed baby lights, depending on the look we're trying to achieve. I also wanted to show you guys that my Money Bang box, I like to go up on an upside down triangle sometimes, just because it makes it fall down nicely where it's really bright around the front of the head when you pull the hair back, but when the bangs are down forward or the hair, it looks like a peekaboo almost, and you don't want it to ever look too chunky in the front. If that is the look my client's going for, I'll go straight across and just do a horizontal box without making it shape up into an upside down triangle. So another thing, if you haven't noticed, today with Lisa, she is naturally a level 3. I don't like going and doing slicing around the hairline on anybody darker than a level 6. Reason being, I feel like when you do slicing, no matter how small they are, and you know I do them very small, they tend not to process as well as a baby light. So I'll always go in with somebody who's a level 6 or darker and pack baby lights in back to back to back. With Lisa, we do want to pop some of that brass out of her hair. We want to lighten her up a little bit. She got used to that blonde and she likes to be blonde now. And you can see how small and detailed I'm being on the hairline. Now when I do a partial, I usually do a mohawk or I'll do a horizontal placement, but I still do the same amount of foils that would have fit into the mohawk. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, I'll explain it more in another video. I also always do 5 to 7 foils along the hairline on each side. So my partial is just the hairline on each side and then the top of the head. So my hair school teacher, Miss Annie, dropped by last week and I did her hair. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram. If you don't, you better, at BR Hair Artistry, and my personal at I am_am Brett Ryan. Wait. I_am_Brett_Ryan. Say that a million times fast. And Miss Annie came in and we did her half highlight and we put her direct dye on her. She always likes those maroons, violets, reds, Guy Tang colors. We did magenta. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, you better go do it. Watch my stories behind the scenes. Every day I'm working, I show you all the clients, all the befores, durings, and afters. Anyway, she made a good point that she wasn't aware of what I meant. So she does a slice and a baby light or a highlight like we learn in traditional hair school. So in hair school, they teach you, you take a section, you split it down the middle, you take the top, you do that, you leave the hair out underneath, and then you go and take another section and do it so on, so on, so on. You know, like you're always leaving a dropout subsection. These days with a look such as what I do, when I mean slicing around the hairline, which is the only time I'll slice, is on the hairline, and it's always first before a baby light. That's only if I want impact and I want real brightness and a nice bright money piece and hairline. When I say slice, I literally take that whole slice of hair. I leave nothing. Nothing is like weaved out of it. Nothing is broken in half. Whenever I say a slice, I'm literally taking that whole section that I just grabbed and picked up. I have a video I'm working on right now that's going to be coming out soon going over this in detail to show you guys, because now I know it can be confusing because I always did it this way. And Miss Annie made a good point, because in hair school they teach us when you do a highlight or a slice, you're actually leaving a subsection. So I don't leave a subsection on the hairline. I always barely ever do subsections in between my foils. Only time I will is if it's a teasy light or somebody wants more dimension. With baby lights, I tend to do them back to back, which means I literally weave my stitch and whatever is left out of that section is my subsection. I hope that all makes sense. Don't let it go over your head. I'll break it down in a video that's coming soon. Be sure to subscribe so you can see when it's coming out.
Struggling to come through. We had a fire that we watched it burn out. Isn't it time we go our separate ways? Not enough time, not enough time. I'm falling behind, I hate to separate my body and mind. My body and mind. Surprised, but I know I'm not over you. Keep missing our fights. Think I'm losing my mind, but I guess that's what love do.
So when overlapping or feathering down lightener, there's so many ways to do this and be as careful as possible. If you notice, I take a bulk of my product and I always start out with a little and end up adding more. You never want to go in and take a whole brush full of product and apply it and get it to end up bleeding or swell in the foil and go over the line and start causing bleeders and tiger stripes. So if you notice, I take a bunch of product, but I'm very, very selective on the amount I take. Apply it to that new regrowth, and then whatever is left I feather down. If the hair is already a little light enough, I'll kick it out of the end of the foil and just feather down slightly. But if it does need a little bit more saturation to get a little bit more lift, then I'll go in and I'll just, apply a little bit more at the end. But I don't ever take as much product as I do originally that I put on the brand new regrowth. See, as I'm doing it right here, I'm just taking whatever and feathering down. That part was a little bit brassy. There's so many ways to overlap and be secure and confident in it. I have a video coming soon, an updated overlapping video that I wanted to show you guys. I have a couple more tips and tricks up my sleeve that I've kind of found throughout my own testing and living and evolving with my craft. So I would love to share that with you guys, and I have a video of that coming as well. I know that I have been very on and off, not consistent as I used to be the last month or two. I had a lot going on. I'm now editing all my videos again. I've been very busy in my career. I don't have an assistant anymore, so a lot's been going on. But I'm here to tell you guys that this week I'll be back to back. Twice a week there'll be a video. I took off the Monday and Friday. I try not to do it necessarily on Monday and Friday. I don't like to put that pressure on myself, but I like to have at least 2 videos out a week. Easiest way to know is just to subscribe, hit the bell notification on so you're always alerted so you don't miss anything. Now that we finished the hairline foiling and the baby lights, it's time for me to go and just pop a little bit of these ends out a little bit more. Some people call this tipping out the ends, teasing the ends, whatever you want to refer to it as. Balayaging the ends, my golly, pick a name for it, whatever you feel like calling it. But this is where I go in, I'll do a little slight tease that ensures a great blend, even though I already make sure I'm blending very nicely with my brush. Then I'll fold 2 foils up so it doesn't, end up going on top of the hair where I actually blend it up. That's why I put the 2 foil trick. Because if you see, I blend up where the tease is. I don't really go into the tease as much, but I blend up into it. So applying a second foil on top just makes sure that it's not going to bleed or cause any splotchiness in the top of the area. All right, so now that I'm wrapping up all this detailed foiling, we're gonna let Lisa process for approximately 45 minutes. She is a level 3. I do like to keep a close eye on my clients, but I also like to let them sit and cook low and slow with a lower developer, and I'm not fond of using heat, and I'm sure you guys know that if you've been following me for a while. The only time I will use heat or anything above 20 volume is if it's a level 1 black box dye overlapped, or the tease dropouts need it because they're a lot darker. And I really don't like doing the tease dropouts unless they're a level 7 or lighter.
I'm acting surprised, but I know I'm not over. You keep missing our fights, even though they're so overdue. We had a fire, now we're watching it burn low. Isn't it time we go our separate ways? Not enough time, not enough time. I'm falling behind, I hate to separate my body and mind, my body and mind. You feel like demons in my mind, demons in my mind. You taste like demons in my mind, demons pushing all my triggers, losing my pride. But I guess that's what love do to people like us, struggling to come through. We had a fire that we watched it burn out. Isn't it time we go our separate ways? Not enough time, not enough time. I'm falling behind, I hate to separate my body and mind, my body and mind. You feel like demons in my mind, demons in my mind. You taste like demons in my mind, missing our fights. Think I'm losing my mind, but I guess that's what love do.
All right, so now we have moved on to one of my favorite points of a session, the toning time. I always apply Olaplex number 2 or a deep conditioning mask on the mids and ends when doing this. Number 1, it kills 2 birds with 1 stone. They get a conditioning mask or Olaplex 2 treatment, while at the same time acting as a barrier, so I can comb and blend that root as much as I want and not have to worry about it going down into the ends, causing splotchiness or just dragging down too far. So when I do a root shadow, I usually go in and shadow 1 to 2 inches. With Lisa, I'm doing about 1.5. We're actually using Goldwell Colorance 7N, 7NA because Goldwell Colorance is a lot more opaque, has a lot more better coverage. And even though we're doing some gray blending and Demi Permanent doesn't really affect gray hair, this will still mend everything together. The new highlights, her natural subsections of gray, her natural base, all that. Even though she's a level 3, this 7 will just merge everything together like a see-through blanket. And this is what I like doing, using Goldwell Colorant. So when the person is gray blending, it always works like a charm. I always section the hairline off, as you can see. Look how amazing that money piece is in the bang box area. And this is just from tightly packed Babylights back to back. You can see how it seamlessly blends all the way up into the Babylight area. And it was just all tight Babylights. You guys seen me do it. And you see how you can achieve a beautiful money piece without doing any slicing necessarily. So when they're really dark like that, look how well just doing tightly packed Babylights. You got to do a bunch of them. I did like, what, 10? It still ends up making such a beautiful pop around the face that all clients love. So once I put the shadow on, I left the hairline out. I let Lisa approximately process for about, I'd say about 8 minutes. Then I go and I tap around the hairline real quick. Let that sit for about 1 minute, layer back, comb everything down through. Now I rinse it out after that 1 minute of processing on the hairline. And I always do this when I'm tapping or shadowing the client so that it doesn't go too dark. If I'm doing a root smudge and they want that real prominent root, I'll leave it on and mush it in with the toner at the same time. So for her all over ends global toner, I use Redken Shades EQ, my ride or die, 10N, 9NW, 9NB. The N is going to be all the cool we need. Lisa likes it to be very vibrant and bright, almost raw. She doesn't like the first week or two until it starts lightening up and the toner comes out of her hair. So now I just started doing it more warm because warm always looks lighter. Too much ash, you guys, can never be too good unless the client really wants that, drabby look. But most of my clients and me, and personally, I like doing brighter looks. Ash is really good to use in your formula, but not overdo it in your formula, if that makes sense. When I tone, I always like working it through. Shades EQ is amazing consistency. I think it has a shampoo agent in there. It lathers very well. I like to give my clients a head massage as I do this. And at the same time, I'm able to actually work it through the hair and see how it's turning. And then I know exactly when to wash it off. I know personally that shades can look very scary. It looks levels and levels darker than it's going to be. If you're just getting out of hair school and you're just getting into this business, trust the process, you guys. If you're that scared, walk away for 5 or 10 minutes and come back. Me personally, I never walk away, no matter how nervous or scared I get, even in the beginning of my career. But I would always say, when you're really terrified and you think it's way too dark and it's starting to turn purple or anything like that, then I would hurry up and rinse it out after you wait 1 more minute, because nothing's worse than rinsing it out too soon, because then it might not be toned well enough. Trust your instincts, trust the process, and you'll be okay. Also, when you're using a lot of ash in a formula, that's when I'll sit there and watch it like a hawk. But if you're toning somebody down and doing a blonde or a brunette on somebody who is blonde, you can actually let it sit there for 15-20 minutes and let it absorb and really suck in and not have to worry about it. When you're using ash, that's a different story, because sometimes if the hair is really blonde and really porous, it can suck up and go blue, purple, or anything like that. So just know what you're doing. Just watch videos if you're new in the industry. Do education, go to classes, watch my videos. I'll be doing some classes locally soon if you guys are interested in that. And yeah, just make sure that you trust the process. I don't know what else to say, but this is one of my favorite things to do because the client's getting a relaxing head massage. And even if you mess up, think of the bright side. A good head massage, they'll come back. You can already see how much darker that hair looks compared to when I started. Now it's time to rinse. I'm gonna rinse thoroughly. I never really shampoo again after I shampooed the first time before we tone. Usually the lathering and the shampoo agent in Redken can actually clean the hair itself. I can't say that there's a shampoo agent in there. I heard that from somebody, but I'm not going to say it's definite because I haven't heard it from myself from them. It does lather up and clean the hair, so you don't need to do it. And it never is an issue where the scalp is, stained or itchy. My clients never say they, their head itched or they didn't get the color all out, nothing like that. So I just tend to do it this way. Now I'm going to use my Olaplex number 5 conditioner. And a new thing I've been doing is when the clients want an extra little service, there's a new 4-in-1 by Olaplex, and I am obsessed with it, you guys. If you have not gotten your hands on this, I hate to say it, but it's stylist only. You have to have a license to purchase it, and you could charge $10 to $20 to add it to the service. Lisa's my friend. I didn't charge her for it, but if I am going to charge somebody, I'll do the conditioner, then I'll rinse it out, and then apply this, let it sit for 15 minutes or so. But with her, I just literally applied it right on top of the conditioner. I like to comb it through and time it for 2 to 3 minutes. And it works really well, even for 2 or 3 minutes, as if it was 15 minutes. So it's called Olaplex 4-in-1. It's like the salon version of the number 8. If you heard of the number 8, it's a new moisturizing mask that you guys can purchase as well. Of course, all my clients, I sell Olaplex and Kenra products. So you can buy the number 8. This is like 4 times stronger in moisture than the number 8 take home. So I definitely recommend asking your stylist if they offer this service. It's really quick, easy, and it makes the hair feel amazing. Now on top of that, she's my friend, I'm going all out. I'm using my favorite Fanola No Yellow Conditioning Toning Mousse. If you guys have never used this, you got to pick it up. Discount code BRETT10, BRETT10. Fanola.net. Fanola also has www.salonguys.com. So either of those websites, my code will work in the United States and Canada. Yeah, so pick up a can of it. It's always out, so if you can get your hands on it, grab it while you can. This stuff is so strong. Don't let the light color of the violet fool you. It is just as strong as the No Yellow Purple shampoo.
I'm acting surprised, but I know I'm not over you.
All right, guys, look at these beautiful results. Her hair is beautiful, gorgeous, shiny, silky, everything you can imagine and more. She loves it, I love it, and look how well it blended with the gray. Low maintenance is what she wanted, and that's what we gave her. We got her off box dye, and now it's the best thing she could have done for her hair condition, and also for the look and the low maintenance. I love you guys so much. Leave video ideas down yonder in the comments section. I'll be back whipping video after video after video out for you guys. I love you all so much. I'll see you in the next one. As always, so long for now, guys.
Struggling to come through. We had a fire that we watched it burn out. Isn't it time we go our separate ways? Not